Morning, here we are. Family, what do we like to say? Family Fun Friday. I'm just moving this a little. Hey, it's Friday. First of all, good morning. Welcome to the journey to Mela Lifestyle. If you're just joining us, if you're new to our community, my name is Camila Tibbetts. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have launched 2 brands in the past, and this morning meditation initially started because I wanted to take you behind the curtain and behind the veil of launching a brand and what that looks like and what it's like for a founder. And it just, the brand has launched. It's amazing. The website has launched. It's Mela, M-E-L-A Lifestyle. But I got so much communication and direct messages that you guys really want to keep the meditations going. So I thought, why not? And also, it's like just because a website launches or just because a brand launches, there are still some things that are happening. I always like to say, do it and make it messy. So it's still messy. There's things that still have to happen, and I would love to continue to go on this journey of me sharing that with you. But above all, I love our morning meditations. And this morning, I was able to FaceTime with someone from our community. She knows who she is. Literally, it was the first time we FaceTime. It was the first. Have you ever gone on a virtual date? You have. Basically, it was like our virtual date because she follows me. She's joined the morning meditations, and I can tell you that a lot of times when I do this, guys, for me, it's more I'm just talking, and I'm just sharing my heart, and I'm just pouring out, and I'm being transparent, and I'm showing what's true for me and hoping that it inspires you. But it just goes out into the universe, into the atmosphere, and I don't know where it's gonna land, but I'm confident that when it lands, it will be inspirational and it will touch you. And her story is for her to tell, but I can tell you, it just really encouraged me to keep going. And when I say ciao for now, I'm press in and send the IGT off, that you guys are really responding. So thank you for just joining me. And I don't know how the meditations affect your day every day, but I'm hopeful that they land well. And so where are we at today? Okay, so remember yesterday, so this is the little cider. Remember I told you guys that the recipe and the blog post for the cider is gonna come out today? It actually did. Okay, so if you have on a red lip, maybe be very careful with this and it's super sweet. So I shared the recipe with you guys on my blog post, and basically it's mulled spices. And you can buy those at a specialty store, or you can just create your own spices in a cheesecloth. And so mine is virgin, no jokes. But you can also spice it up and put brandy in it, or you can mix the mulled spices with red wine. So I always like to give you guys 2 options because, hey, cheers to the weekend, right? So definitely go on melalifestyle.com, look at our Be Known blog post, and I titled our blog post Be Known because really at Mela Lifestyle, we're really creating a movement where people can walk out their true identity, right? They can walk out truly who they are. So it's not like you're this one person in the world and then you come home and you're someone else and it's just something you put on a coat. I really want you guys to really understand that you can be a homemaker, you can be a tastemaker, and there's no tension between who you are in the world and who you are at home. And for me, I love entertaining, I love caretaking, I love just taking care of people. And usually I do it in a very big, grand way, but I wanted to teach you and share with you instructions and inspiration of how just to make it your own. So the Mulled Spice Cider is just my first glimpse into sharing with you, hey, make this cider. It's Friday, if you're enjoying it yourself, if you have a partner, if you want to have some friends over, just make it for you and just enjoy the season. So I always like to honor your time, but I really like to honor your time on Friday because it's Friday. There's so much to do, and I always want to leave you with something for the weekend. So our first meditation this morning is press in, and what do I mean by that? So I was listening to this song, on Fridays, new music comes out on Apple Music, and it was talking about leaning in, and the song said lean in to what's to come, and I was thinking about leaning in, and for some reason, for me, press in has more of a powerful stance. And so what I really want, and I really want to encourage you guys to do today is really press into the weekend, right? I want you to press into a space to rest and restore. I want you to press into that place that's making you uncomfortable. I want you to press into those relationships and those friendships and those special moments that you want to build with that person in your life or with yourself. So when we think about pressing in, it's really not only is it a mental thought, like, okay, I'm really going to press into this situation, but I also want you to think of it like physically, right? Like, I'm going to press in and be a little bit uncomfortable so I can experience the joy and the overflow of what comes after that. And if you think about it, pressing in isn't like, if I say lean in, if I say, oh, lean into that, like, for me, like, if I lean into something, I still kind of have some reservations around it. I'm like, I'll lean into it, but I can run if I want to, because, and that used to be my life, right? I was a runner. I would like F it and run forget it and run for yeah, I was a runner. Like, if I was uncomfortable, or a comfortable situation, an uncomfortable environment, I would drop it and run. Like, I would just run from conversations, run from people, run from uncomfortable situations. And my life at the time was one which I can choose to do that. And that's not always a choice. And that always shouldn't be a choice. So when I think of leaning in, for me, leaning in always feels like, for me, that I can still have the choice of running. But when I'm pressing into something, like when I'm pressing into the promise that's over my life, or when I'm pressing into a conversation, that really means like I'm pressing in and I'm surrounding myself with whatever that feeling is. And a lot of times we don't want to surround ourselves with our feelings, especially if they're uncomfortable. But I want to encourage you this weekend to just press in a little, right? Like, press into your self-care, press into like a nice evening with a cider, press into your person, whoever that can be, and just kind of press into what is next for you. And so my second meditation, first meditation is press in for the weekend. I can make jokes, but I'm not. So my first meditation is press into the weekend. My second meditation is what's for you is for you. And what do I mean by that? So when I had this conversation with someone from our community this morning, like, she really shared with me how, it was like a seed that was planted, and it really like was able to like flourish into this area of her life just from the encouragement that I gave. And so, I always say, like, everybody wins, like, right? Like, if you're like, Camila, what red lipstick are you wearing? I'm gonna tell you the red lipstick I'm wearing, because it's going to look different on me than it looks on you. Like, why am I going to hoard information, right? And that's what I want you guys to think about in terms of your building, in terms of your leadership, in terms of your relationship. Like, what's for you is for you. So it's not going to look, what's for me is for me. It's not going to look like someone else. A lot of times people will message me and they'll say, oh, you really remind me of this person. Oh, you should really look at this person. And for me, I can't look at other people, because like, I can only be me. Like, that's what they do. Right? But what's for me is for me. And I've never been the type of person that hoarded or felt like a hater or jealousy or envy, because I know like what the universe has for me, like what my higher power, like whatever your thought process is, or whatever your experience is with spiritual things, like, that's for you, and no one can take it from you. And guess what? You can't even take it from yourself. Like, if there is a plan over your life, if there's something that you're called to walk out, your biggest mistakes aren't going to change that. Like you can try and self-sabotage all you want, but what's for you is for you. And I really want you guys to remember that. Like, and so you can be a place of honoring, you can encourage other people and know, like, that's for him, that's for her, but what's for me is for me. And those are our two meditations today, right? Like, really press in. I want you to press into the weekend, press into your self-care, press into any experience that you're planning to have for the weekend. And I want you to realize that what's for you is for you, and not your own self-sabotage, your own, I'm not even gonna call them mistakes, like your own choices that you've made that you regret, your own wisdom of how you think it's going to be. Like, none of that matters, because what's for you is for you, and no one can take that from you. So just remember that this weekend. And I want you to remember that when we press into something, even though we're uncomfortable, we have that anchor to the ground, right? And so really think, like, what is your anchor to the ground? Like, what is that firm foundation that you're standing on? So when you're pressing in and you get a little wobbly, you're anchored into something that's so much bigger than you. You're anchored to your why. You're anchored to your promise. You're anchored to the fact that what's for you is for you. And so for me, like in launching a business, in moving across the country, in being newly single, like I have to really be anchored to the ground, because like I'm single and I'm an empty nester. So there was a season in my life where my anchor to the ground was being a mom, being a wife, like being an employer, like, making sure payroll was done so people could pay their rent. Like all those things were my anchor, and all those things were valuable at that season of my life. But as seasons change, just like right now, we're in a shift of season. As seasons change, your anchor may change, but it still needs to be firm, right? So it's like my anchor to the ground is my why. My anchor to the ground is knowing that I am a communicator, and that's what I'm called to do. Like whether it's on Instagram Live, whether it's through a blog post, whether it's through a video, like whether it's through a deck with a production company, whatever it looks like, I'm anchored in the fact that I'm a communicator. This is who I am. So, and what's for me is for me. And when I have a firm anchor, and when I have a firm foundation, when the winds change and the seas change and the tide comes, like I'm anchored into something so much bigger than me. So when I'm feeling my feelings, or when I'm not okay, my anchor is what's sustaining me, right? And so here at Mela Lifestyle, like we're building a community that will anchor you. We can't be next to you in those uncomfortable conversations. We can't be physically next to you when you're pressing in. But what we can offer you is a true anchor that you can always have this touchstone of this movement and of this lifestyle, and that will anchor you for what's to come. Because remember, what's for you is for you. So it's Friday, cheers to the weekend. Definitely check out our blog post and the recipe for the apple cider, and just enjoy your weekend, enjoy yourself, enjoy your partner, enjoy your friends, enjoy your community, and most of all, like enjoy your home, because it's a reflection of you. So again, thank you for joining me on the journey to Mela Lifestyle. And remember, it's more than a lifestyle, it's a movement. So thanks, have a good weekend. Ciao for now.